Hey, this is Matt with Let's Talk Music. I'm with Jimmy from Saturate, and he doesn't sound like he's feeling too well today.
Just a little bit under. You might hear it in my voice. Yeah, I'll be all right though.
So, how's life treating you, man? Besides being sick?
I can't complain too much. Yeah, man, I'm keeping busy with the band. Getting some good work done on the new record. We keep thinking we're done, and we're not. We want to make sure that it's the absolute best that it can be. So
Right.
yeah, so focusing really on that, on getting the record as best it can be. And yeah, can't complain about that. I love writing music. I love laying down new songs and getting stuff out of the studio. Those final mixes.
Right.
Yeah, it's my favorite part.
So, you're out of Baytown, Texas.
Yeah, well, that's where the band's out of. I'm in the same city, but probably about an hour and a half away from there.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, Houston's ridiculous. So each of us live about an hour and a half in a different direction,
Mm-hmm.
but we did all come out of Baytown. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's just right outside of Houston.
Houston's a pretty big city, so
You ain't lying.
yeah. I mean, everything in Texas, especially Houston, Austin, Dallas, Fort Worth. I mean,
Yep.
so, tell me about the new song. Thank you. What inspired you to write that?
Oh well, a couple things. We needed to get new music out. We knew that we wanted to write again. We didn't know really where to start with it, and that was one of the first ones that came out as far as lyrically. We had a stack of songs we didn't use, but as far as the ones we did use, that was one of the first ones that came up because it was appropriate. Felt like the world needed that. It was written in early 2021, so sort of right between times of we weren't really sure what everybody wanted. Did everybody want to rage a little bit? Did everybody want a little bit more peace and calm? We weren't really sure as people, as musicians, as anything. So thank you seemed like an appropriate first thing to say. Thank you for all the time. Thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for always being there. Thank you for the help. Thank
Right.
you for the last few years, for everybody not losing their damn minds. And there's more to it as well. The song goes a lot deeper than that. The story goes a lot deeper than that on a personal level. But that's where, on the surface, that's where it comes from.
Mm.
Is wanting to tell everybody thank you for sticking with us. And we're back.
Well, out of curiosity, do you care to share what the personal level or no?
Oh, the songs, all of our songs, all of them, all 46 of them come from many different places. Not one of them has a singular story or a singular feeling. They're meant to be, depending on how you read them. If you emphasize different words, you get a whole different vibe. Uh, so for thank you, it means a lot of different personal things as far as who I'm thinking or who I'm telling this or why the rivers run dry. And even there in the chorus, you can lead me to the river, but the rivers run dry. That whole thing in my head was you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Right.
And it doesn't even play out the same. The words don't play out the same. It doesn't mean the same thing. But in my mind, it still does mean you can help me. Thank you for helping me.
Right.
That doesn't mean that I'm going to be fulfilled when you're done helping me. I've still got more to learn.
Hmm.
Uh, so that's where that comes from. And I come back to an imagery of an injured bird, a person as an injured bird. As far as when you get to the end of the song and it says, "Let me go, let me fly. You have held me up." Um, I think of it as someone that nurtures you, someone that takes care of you in a time of need. And at the end of it, the idea isn't that you are forever indebted to them. The idea is that you're free. The idea is that you get to move along, but you'll never forget the way home. You'll never forget the way back to them.
Right.
So you offer a heartfelt thank you, but you point out to them that they've led you to a dry river and that you got to keep going. Yeah.
Hmm.
So that's where that comes from.
Okay. And then another one that you had released back in 2021. Is this pre-COVID or like
Like the match.
like the match? Yes.
Yeah. No. That was written very quickly. That was written in a day, or less. That was written in a few hours, and then vocals were written over the course of about an hour. They sent it to me, and I went for a jog and came back with it. That one was fast. Um, and that one's real simple. If you can't take the heat, get your ass out the kitchen. That's that's what that one's about. That one's about more specifically, since we do the more specifics. More specifically, that one is about how could you fall in love, let's say, or how could you fall for someone who's passionate
Hmm.
and then be shocked when they're too much to handle?
Hmm.
How could you want something that's passionate and then you can't deal with it? You didn't think that through. Don't touch things that you can't handle. Is what it really boils down to. It's got some stories of betrayal in it. It's got some stories of pride and self empowerment in it. But really, what it comes down to is don't touch things that are too much for you because you're just going to ruin them.
So yeah, I mean, all of your, you was just saying all of your what 46 songs.
Uh-huh.
Those are pretty much all written from experiences from each one of you guys, or
Um, I write all the lyrics. Occasionally, I will pull stories, not often. Occasionally, feelings that are present when the guitars are written, or if there's a temporary title given to it when it's just a guitar.
mm-hmm.
That may influence where the story goes for me, what I'm feeling that day, and how I want to describe it in words. But it's mostly my life, our experiences as a shared group, since
Mm-hmm.
my life is with them.
Right,
Um, and But we all find ways to connect to the songs because, like I said, they're all very slightly ambiguous. They're all slightly meant to be read in a ton of different ways, and that's purposeful, because I want it to mean something to everyone.
right.
Mhm.
So now, you guys, you formed in 2003, correct?
Oh, 05, yeah.
Oh, five. Okay. And so you have Mike and Curtis both on guitars.
Hmm.
Uh,
Nexus was the founding member. I joined in right after him. Um, so I mean, first vocalist. So I guess that's founding member, even though I met him a couple
right.
weeks later. Uh, and Hector was quickly found. We knew we wanted him, but he wasn't available, and he became available very quickly once we started playing shows. So he's been there since year one for sure.
Okay.
Curtis joined in 2013, somewhere around there, and yeah, that's how we've done. We had two we had a couple of good drummers. We had another guitar player and a keyboard player that have been with us over the years, and they're all like family, and no bad blood there. It's all good
Well,
stuff.
that's always a good thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So, tell me a little bit about yourself, Mike. I mean, or not Mike, shit, you're Jimmy. Duh.
All right.
Last time I talked to Mike first, we had that problem with my computer, but
Yeah, yeah, that's all right. It happens.
yeah, I was kind of bummed, man, because I was ready for it and everything. And yeah, so but tell me a little bit about yourself. I mean, what do you do outside of music? I mean,
Music's what I do outside of music. Honestly, it's the only thing that I give a damn about. I don't really dive into a lot of about my personal life,
Mhm.
just because I don't know. No, nobody's ever asked, but now
Well,
that
I
I
mean,
think
I'm
about
not
it,
that, wanting you to get too personal. I'm just like, hobbies or whatever that you enjoy or
music. I really like the Marvel movies. I go see those with my boy. But yeah, music. Music is what I like to take my time with. If I could be on the road, I would prefer to be on the road. If I could be in a studio, I prefer to be in the studio. If I can be writing, I prefer to do that. That's not saying that's what I do with all my time, but if I could, I would. I really would. And it's been hell trying to get back to that.
Mhm.
We had that for many years, and it just gets harder. It got harder and harder and harder and harder as far as getting further in the hole with money.
Right.
Yeah, and so yeah, that's really the only thing that I like doing. I like words. I like playing with words. I like writing, and I like observing the world around me. That's
Mhm.
I don't I don't I don't take part in a lot of the. I don't care about politics. I don't care about the news. I don't care what happened yesterday or today in the world. Outside my window, it was a pretty good day, so it looked like it was pretty today, and that's all I know. I don't know anything else. And yeah, it's good to keep track of the world around you, but you can't lose sight of the world in front of you
Right.
because we might be a global people, but your experiences aren't global every day. You
Right.
could still have a beautiful day even if there's chaos in the world. You can still be a positive influence even though there's chaos in the world. So Yeah, I don't like a lot of the way that society's evolved, but who am I to say?
Yeah, hey, I'm with you, man. I agree 100%. So, what really inspired you to get into music? I mean, what was that moment that you was like, damn, I want to do this?
Man, they wouldn't let me join sports, and they wouldn't let me play drums because they said I had no rhythm. So, fuck. It was I was no, it was a long time ago. I didn't want to play sports. I'm joking, but I had those choices of you could do sports or speech or art or choir or band or something like that. And I didn't think I could sing. I didn't know anything about it, so I just picked band. And they put me on trumpet, and I didn't fill out the right form the next year, and so they put me in a band that wasn't a band. It was just people tooting on their horns.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, I can't do this. So I walked next door, and that's where choir was. And I shrugged my shoulders and said, let's try this. And it really was by accident, really did fall into it. Never looked back. I spent all of my time in junior high and high school, which was pretty much the entirety of the 90s,
Mm-hmm.
um, doing music. After school, I did music. Um, Before school, I'd do music. When I graduated, I went to college for music. As soon as I stopped going to college and realized that was a stupid thing to get a major in, I have done nothing but music ever since. And any breaks in between were times that I was not healthy, not complete, not okay.
Right.
Yeah, so I try to keep okay now. I try to keep on it, try to keep writing and pushing as hard as I possibly can.
So the unclean vocals, is that hard on your voice, or I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, depending. Uh, as a generally, no, because it depends on how I'm going to deliver it, and there's a lot of different types of unclean vocals that we have,
Right.
a
Right.
lot, and each one is specifically chosen to be that sound, whatever comes out of here, and each one, some of them do blow my vocals out if I have to do the song twice or three times in rehearsal in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, doing that exact same note or exact same scream or something, yeah, that does wear it down. When we're on the road, we don't anymore, but we used to have, we with our first drummer, we would play 2.5 hour sets, and so that would wear on me. You had to give and take with the shows, because sometimes you'd show up to a place that had a crummy PA, and I had to learn to myself, you know what, they just can't, they're just not going to be able to hear you tonight, because if you
Right.
scream over this quiet PA, you're ruining the show for the next three people, for the
Mm-hmm.
next three cities,
Mm-hmm.
because then you're going to be hoarse, and then you're going to be more hoarse, and then you're going to be out of a voice by the end of it. And couldn't do that. So, but no, on the regular, no, they take their toll, I guess, but doesn't really kill me.
Do you perform any type of vocal exercises to help?
Never have.
Never have.
No, only time I did was in college, whenever I had a vocal coach, and then a little bit in high school when they asked me to get a vocal coach. And in college, that was just necessary. It was just part of the program. And they would have me do things that didn't work for me.
Mm-hmm.
Never worked for me. Yeah, I don't see. Now, I get why a lot of people do. I get why a lot of people spend that time doing that. For me, it's expending my voice before I need to. It's using my voice when I really don't have a need for it. There's no need for me. I've never had a problem hitting the notes, as it were.
Right.
Yeah, and being clear in exactly what I want to deliver. As long as I'm not out of breath, we're good. As long as I didn't run to the stage, now that's a problem.
Right. So you said that you're working on getting the album finished. What kind of time period we're looking at on that? Do you know?
And I'm going to stop guessing at this point. The album should have come out last winter, and it didn't. And we've had just different things come up that have been important. We can't push forward without everything being spot on. And Right now, we're just looking at the releases that we've had. We're looking at the rest of the songs that we do have coming up, and trying to decide, is it enough?
Mm-hmm.
Is it good enough? Is it big enough? Is it loud enough? Is it real enough? And the answer was no. Is it big enough? The music is. Is it loud enough? No. Is it real enough? No. And we're fixing all that. Should still be summer, but should still be beginning of summer, but I really don't want to put a timeline on it, because once we cement the things in that we're doing and make the necessary changes, we should be, in theory, ready to go ahead and lay down a second EP almost immediately.
Gotcha.
So while the wait for the first one maybe keep getting pushed back, it will be worth the wait. And it does mean that it'll just be closer together to the second EP. So,
Okay. And as far as getting out on the road, you guys done any of that lately, or is that going to come after, the release of the EP?
that really comes with the EP. We've been pushing for festival dates, excuse me, for festival dates and whatnot, but a lot of that stuff gets locked in so early.
Mm-hmm.
And we weren't doing anything for a few years. Our last album is dated 2015.
Okay.
And that may not mean a lot to a lot of people. They may just hear it and say, oh, cool, good music. But for business, when people turn over the CD and see 2015, they say, okay, what'd you do now?
Right.
So that's really what it's been waiting on. We had Like the Match. Just little things that have been getting in the way. And like I said, we're correcting every last one of them.
Okay.
And by the time the album comes out, the videos will be on point. The music will be beyond on point, and there will be plenty of music to come right after.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So as a vocalist, and just as as you described, you love music, you're all about music. I mean, who really kind of gets you going when you're listening to a song, or who was behind your vocal style? I mean, more or less your influence.
I don't really have one as far as influence. I didn't get into rock music too much later. I liked Chris Cornell.
Mm-hmm.
Now, not to say that I'm just saying then I really liked his range.
Right.
That was specifically when I was 16, 17, 18. I liked his range. That
Mm-hmm.
was what I took from Chris. I ended up really enjoying his first solo record, Euphoria Morning, and plenty of the Soundgarden records as well. But so I fell more in with him, but initially it was his range.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed people like Jimmy Haha from Jimmy's Chicken Shack, and
Mm-hmm.
the dude from Stroke 9 who wrote Little Black Backpack, and a couple things from the singer of Our Lady Peace that he did solo. I like people that play with words. I like people that stupid little things. I enjoyed the hell out of that Eve 6 Put My Tender Heart in a Blender song.
Right.
Because I like playful words. And so from none of those people was I taking a style. I just really liked the way that they had fun and they could still say something extremely serious. And sometimes all you would hear was silly and you wouldn't realize how serious it was unless you sat there and looked at it. Other times you would only hear serious and wouldn't realize how silly it was.
Right.
And I thoroughly enjoyed that. Yeah, lots of singers that I've seen along the years, I just absolutely love. I like anything Maynard does, really. I tons. God, there's so many to name. And everybody has their own distinct styles, but I didn't pull anything from any of them as far as my voice. I found my voice before I started listening to music.
Right.
So I didn't have to base it on anyone. And even like the last few years, I don't listen to music much. I listen to our music a lot. I listen to a few records that I have from Sturgill Simpson.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to Willie and Lucas Nelson quite a bit. But I just, it's not that anything's not inspiring me. A lot of it does sound processed and exactly the same. And every time I hear new bands, I think, wow, they sound really good, because they sound like every other thing that I've heard with the exact same production.
Right.
Yeah. Which is fine. And I can enjoy it, but something new, maybe.
Right.
Something a little different, maybe. I don't know. You know, we don't all have to be Coheeds, but maybe every now and then you can bring out a new Coheed, a new Alice in Chains, a new, and by that I mean people with true originality, with truly original voices and sounds that you can listen to it and say, no one else does that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, you talk about all the different ranges and, with Chris Cornell. And I mean, that the guy was an amazing singer. I remember seeing him in concert a couple times. Tragedy, man, but it's, I guess, I think that vocalists anymore, I don't know, man, because I grew up in like the 80s and stuff. So I'm like, Steve Perry, oh my God, what was the guy from Boston?
I don't know his name offhand.
Yeah, I can't think of it right offhand either, but he was, I mean, those guys were the ones that impressed me back then. And then, I started getting into rock, and I was like, of course that was the hair metal age. So, I mean,
Yeah.
everybody was high pitched,
Yeah.
So yeah, I pay.
That's fine. See, I like that style. Well, actually, I don't like that style. I don't care for that style, but that vocal style, and all that was opera. All that was a differently tuned operatic voice, which is what I was really into at the time.
Right.
It was very operatic. They were holding serious. It was a big deal to hold the highest, loudest note with the most vibrato you could, with the wind blowing in your hair and your codpiece glimmering. Okay, like it was dope. But yeah, all that was a play on, different kinds of vocals that had been around for a while. So I get it. I do get it. I do like some of it. But just like all music, all genres and styles and eras of music, there's so much to sift through at this point.
Yes.
That, yeah, okay. Once you've heard 100 of them, you're like, all right, I'm done. That's
right.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Iron Maiden did this, and Megadeth did this, and okay, I get it.
Right. Brad Delp was the singer for Boston. Just came to me. So, are you guys independent?
Yeah.
And have you ever been with a label?
Not a label per se. We've had a lot of things tossed our way, and we've turned them all down. We've had a lot of different offers from a lot of different kinds of companies come in, and nothing's ever been right. It was always, here, we'll take all your money for the rest of your life, and even if you do a side project or go solo, we get that too.
Yeah.
And we thought, well, no, so piss off. But yeah, no, we've had offers. We've had big and small. We've talked. We know all the people in the offices. We are not easy to market. We're not, here's rock that you jump to. Here's soft music that you close your eyes and wiggle your hips to.
Right.
We're a little bit of everything. All we want is to draw the emotion out of you. All we want is to draw the passion out of you. I would rather have you lost in feeling and staring at me for 5 minutes, and just confused. And so, yeah, we're getting to that, and we don't fake. We don't have backing tracks. We don't have earpieces with click tracks running. We don't. And again, that's fine. If anybody does that, well, everybody does that. But we don't do any of the tricks. There's no gimmicks with us. There's nothing playing that we aren't physically playing there on the stage.
Right.
And they look at it and they say, oh, it's not much of a show, is it? It's 10 times the show because it's real.
Right. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the most of the artists that I've spoke with in recent weeks are all independent and seem to love it. And they're the same way. They're not, they call it, one guy called it processed music. So yeah, that's a big thing with a lot of these guys. And I love it because you guys are giving 100%, and it's you. You know what I mean? There's
the art's what we want it to be. It's exactly what we want it to be. Nobody had a say in it except for the 4 of us.
Right. Okay, man. Well, I know you're not feeling well, so I do appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Thanks, bud.
Get yourself some rest, and I look forward to that album coming out, and hopefully maybe catch you guys out on the road.
Right on, right on. Yeah, hopefully this summer you'll see us on the road. And the EP is called Feed the Fire.
Mm-hmm.
And if we have our way about it, the one after that will be called Ashes and Embers. So yeah.
Nice.
Right on.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you very much.
All right. You have a good one, bud.
You too. Later.
Push against my will, that'll never work. You push so hard until it hurts. I think you know, I know we need to show the world we're unbroken. It's unspoken. There comes a time in your life when you start to awaken. You're not the center of the universe. Something has taken your breath and gave hope. It's an unfamiliar feeling, but it's growing on me. I don't wanna mince words, you're saving me. Thank you for taking the time out of your life just to hold up mine. I'll be fine. You can lead me to the river, but the river's run dry. Don't fall in line just to try to find your easy way. You're not at the center of everything. Someone has taken your heart and gave hope. It's an old familiar feeling, but it's growing on me. I don't wanna mince words, you're changing me. Thank you for taking the time out of your life just to hold up mine. I'll be fine. You can lead me to the river, but the river's run dry. Let me go. Let me fly. I'll be fine. Let me go. Let me fly. You had held me up so that I would rise for eternal flight. I don't wanna mince words, just save my life. I just wanna thank you for taking the time out of your life just to hold